shaping up to be a fierce national showdown between the Trump White House and California is Congressman Jimmy Gomez of the 34th District. Welcome, Congressman, to the Rush Hour. Nice to have you.
Thank you for having me.
So let's start with these raids in MacArthur Park. Families are terrified. L.A. Mayor Bass with other mayors suing the federal government. What is your take? Are these raids about public safety, as the president says, or is this, as others claim, political theater?
Absolutely not. I don't think it's about public safety. If you really want to think about it, one, either it was such a poorly planned enforcement operation that they arrested 0 people with 100 agents, with Humvees, horses, everything, or two, more likely that it was just staged for video and for photo ops and to basically placate Donald Trump that they're actually doing something. One of the things we've known since they've gotten here, they're going after people at car washes, at restaurants, at day laborer sites. I don't know of any MS-13 gang members that actually work day jobs. If they want to go after MS-13, they can go after them. They can talk to basically the FBI and they know where they're at. But they're choosing not to. What they're doing is going after hardworking individuals, often just based on the color of their skin, that gives them, in their mind, the probable cause that they need to basically check their immigration status.
Right. But, Congressman, you have heard how the president is categorizing and defending these operations, saying cities like L.A., they use undocumented immigrants to expand their voter base, cheat elections, grow the welfare state at the expense of American workers. How do you respond?
It's just complete nonsense. One of the things that we know is that undocumented immigrants are not voting in our elections. They tried to blow that out of proportion. They tried to make it like a big problem when we know that that's not a problem at all, especially here in California.
Right.
Additionally, we know that these immigrants are often filling jobs that Americans are not willing to do themselves. They work in the fields. They work for low wages, often at car washes. They do the hard work. And what they do is contribute to our economy. They make it the strongest. One of the things that we know is the reason why the U.S. continues to grow economically is because our population keeps growing compared to China and other countries. And that means that without immigrants, we wouldn't be having that economic advantage that we have over other countries. So it's complete nonsense. He's just trying to use it as a scare tactic. And he's often going after California because we represent everything he dislikes when it comes to progressive politics.
Right. And you've seen the results of that. I mean, this is a face-off between the federal government and California like we've never seen, that literally pits state sovereignty against the federal mandate. We've got the National Guard, the Marines on L.A. streets against the will of the governor and mayor. Lawsuits, as you know, are being filed on everything from sanctuary status to climate emissions. But when constituents ask you, what are you doing to actually defend California's way of life, what do you say to them?
I say we have to do a number of things. One, we got to fight them in Congress, we got to fight them in the courts, and we got to fight them in the streets. And what that means is that when they have anything that's going through Congress, we got to put up a fight, slow it down, stall it, and then educate the public around what their legislation includes. And what's going on in the streets, we have to push back, and we have to make sure that people understand the injustice that is occurring. Because if those raids can happen here, where they can nationalize or federalize the National Guard of our state, they're going to do it in other states. If they can throw Alex Padilla down to the ground, who's a U.S. senator, they can throw anybody down to the ground. This is about the rule of law, and this is about the kind of country we want. But you know what? In Congress, we understand we're outnumbered, but it doesn't mean that we're not going to put up a fight. And then we're going to go out into the red areas and tell people what the legislation they're passing in Washington means for them, because that's how we actually win our country back.
So let me ask you this. With this face-off between California and the Trump White House literally boiling up as we speak, what do you make of our governor, Governor Newsom, touring South Carolina in what some believe is a stunt for 2028? Is that what he should be doing right now in your estimation, or should he be here in California trying to defend the many policies that are under attack?
I think we got to do both. So one of the things that I'm doing, and this
Wait, should he be there? Excuse me, Congressman. Should he be in South Carolina, or should he be here in California?
I think if he's in, we all know that Gavin's often taking positions and doing things because he's thinking of his long-term future. And I recognize
Is that a mistake? Is that a mistake?
No, I don't think it's a mistake. As long as he's talking about the issues that matter not only to California, but to the rest of the country. One of the things that I believe we got to do, and that's what you're seeing people in the Democratic caucus do, is we're going into the red districts. Here's the thing. People in LA, they support me. They support the positions I'm taking because they know and get the information that we're putting out. The people in the red areas don't get that information. That's because they don't listen to our podcasts, watch our cable shows, or read our newspapers. Those are the people we need to win over. So if he's going out and having conversations, not just with the Democrats that are going to vote in the primaries in 2028, but actually talking to the people that we need to win over for 2026, then I'm all for it.
Well, let me ask you about that because with all this congressional gridlock and Democratic leadership literally paralyzed, Democrats are hoping that the passage of that big, beautiful bill will actually help them in those midterms. But there are critics, you know they're out there, who think the Democratic Party is in such collapse. There is no leadership to get anything done. Are you at the mercy of the White House, or what can the party do to get in shape to take back the House?
Well, I mentioned earlier our strategy is threefold. Stall or stop any Republican agenda in Congress. 2, we have to organize.
But that's not happened.
No, that's what actually we are, right? One of the things that we ended up doing in Congress is we had record-breaking hearings when it comes to the Build Back, well, not Build Back Better, the big billionaire bill that the Republicans pushed forward. In the end, they have more votes than us, but our job is to bring the attention forward. And the way we do that is by delaying the vote as long as we possibly can, knowing that we're going to lose the fight, but we're going to win the war in the long term. Then we have to go and organize in these other districts. You know, I have people who are Republicans that tell me that they're getting Doge checks because they listen to YouTube channels or podcasts or things on the right that tell them a certain set of facts that are not real. So we have to break through and tell them, no, the big billionaire bill is going to take your Medicaid away. It's going to cut food stamps. It's going to worsen our economy. It's going to put you at a disadvantage just to give tax breaks to the billionaires and the largest corporations in the country. But if we don't do that, if we just talk amongst ourselves or go to a protest and think everything's hunky-dory, we're going to lose.
But next time you come back, Congressman, we'll have to talk about the messaging strategy of the left because it hasn't been working thus far, as you just pointed out with the YouTube messaging.
I don't know if that's correct because here's the thing. If you have Joe Rogan that's basically saying that the immigration raids are hurting not only Californians, but also going against what Trump said he would do, which go after criminals, then it's working. It's penetrating through. Right. So I would say don't believe the hype that it's not working.
All right. Congressman Jimmy Gomez, thank you so much for coming on to the Rush Hour. I hope you'll come back soon and often.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. As we head to break, everyone, here's a look at the 405.